My name is Georgi Mottram. I'm a classical crossover singer, trained opera singer and breathwork practitioner, and I'm here today to talk about the why we should be singing, why it's good for us, why it's good for our mind, body, soul. So when we sing in a group or small ensemble or choir and have that sense of community, we actually release endorphins, which is the happy hormone, whilst we are singing. So it's extremely good to promote well-being. Singing also increases your lung capacity, and when we sing we tend to exercise those respiratory muscles, so it's really good for lung capacity. And would you believe, those who sing have higher levels of immunoglobulin A, which is an antibody your body secretes to fend off infection, so it's very good for immunity. And my favourite thing ever to talk about, singing and breathing and doing breathwork, of course, actually switches on your parasympathetic nervous system, which switches off your fight or flight response. So in our day-to-day lives, when we experience a stressful situation or when we experience a traumatic event or a negative event or anything emotionally taxing, our body can go into a state of fight or flight, which is a stress response. And singing and breathing deeply, of course, as well, that activates your parasympathetic nervous response, which is so important for promoting well-being and for your overall health. Now there's something magic called the vagus nerve, which is a critical component of your parasympathetic nervous system. So your vagus nerve does all sorts of wonderful things, and it actually is a critical nerve that goes from your brain down to your abdomen, and it is, as I said, a very important component of switching on this parasympathetic nervous response. Now, the vagus nerve actually travels down past the larynx through the inner ear, and when we sing or when we hum, we actually activate this vagus nerve and it starts to switch on our parasympathetic nervous response. When we elongate the exhale, and we can do this by a hum, so if I was going to breathe in for 2 or 3 counts, and if I was going to hum on the way out, say for 8 counts, what I have done there is I have allowed the vagus nerve to secrete the hormone ATCH into my body, which is an anxiety tranquilizing hormone. Very, very good for stress levels. So as you can tell, singing and breathing, extremely good for stress levels. So another really incredible thing about the vagus nerve is it starts to allow trapped anxiety, negative emotion, trauma be released from the body on a cellular level. And of course, singing enhances this tenfold. So when we sing and start to connect to the emotion and the meaning of the text, and we start to feel that emotion through music and then communicate that emotion either in a group setting, to each other, by yourself, to an audience, we start to allow emotions within our body to move through us. So it's just really cathartic to sing. And of course, singing is not about your voice. It's not about how good you are and how your voice sounds. It's literally about connecting your voice to your heart, connecting to the emotion of the text, and then communicating that, whether that's by, if you're by yourself in your room, whether that's in your car, or whether that's to an audience. And it's all about the connection. And when I say singing from our heart, I mean metaphorically and literally singing from our heart is a really good thing to do. So allowing the voice to resonate here is really good for us. And of course, singing from the heart, and what I mean by that is of course finding the meaning, the true meaning and the connection to the music. And when we start singing from our heart and opening up this area, we start gaining more confidence in our day-to-day lives. We start having more confidence to speak up, to implement boundaries, to feel and be able to express and share our opinion. We start to trust our voice and have confidence in our voice, both our singing voice and our speaking voice, trusting our intuition more, our wisdom more. So it's incredible for that. So by singing from the heart and connecting, this is what I mean. So if I was going to give you an example, I could sing Can't Help Falling in Love with You. So this is without it being connected. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. So that's without any connection. Now, when I put the voice in the heart and start feeling that feeling of love that's in that piece, it will sound like this. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. And that has just made me feel calm, it's cathartic, it's relaxing, and it's so good for the soul. So please, if you take anything away from this, anyone can sing. It's just about connecting to the meaning, the emotion, getting that voice in your heart, trusting your voice. So please go forth, sing in the shower, in a choir, by yourself, to an audience, and making sure you're humming to stimulate that parasympathetic nervous response when you can't sing, whether that's in the car. It's been so lovely talking to you today, and I hope I've inspired some of you to get singing.